Greetings everybody, welcome ladies and gentlemen back to the Eden Audio YouTube channel. I'd like to thank our millions of viewers and subscribers for tuning in once again to an exciting episode of What's Going On at Eden Audio. Well, those of you that have tuned in recently, you will be fully aware that we are currently undergoing a garage conversion. And I'm sure you're all excited to also know how our progress is going. So for this update, I'm going to give a little refresh of what's been going on this past week here at Eden Audio. As you can see the difference from the last upload I made, we've made quite a little bit of progress actually. There at the back you can see the wall has now been soundproofed. But you'll also notice at the top, in some of the corners obviously to finish it off properly, some acoustic sealant needs to be applied in those corners to make it a really good soundproofed joint. But the thing I'm sure most of us will notice is this acoustic slate has now been installed. It was something I mentioned to you in the last upload I made, that I was planning on putting these sort of acoustic panels in. And to be honest with you, I'm quite surprised at the difference they've made to the acoustics of this room. The colour I went for was natural oak, but when we opened it up and installed it, to my eyes, it doesn't look natural oak at all. It looks more on the kind of walnut colour. What do you think? Does that look natural oak to you, or does that look more sort of a walnutty type of finish? Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Also, you notice when I went for this particular type of acoustic panel and slating, there's certain depths that you can purchase, and I obviously wanted to go for the deepest one. And I can just show you, if I can get up close there and I'll put my finger in there, if you can see my finger. Where are you? There you are. You can see that the depth I chose was the deepest depth you could possibly buy. I mean, there's not a huge difference between the three depths you could buy, but I obviously wanted to go for the deepest one. And the reason I chose this was because I thought it would give the best diffusion effect. A lot of us audiophiles sort of over or underestimate, should I say, not over, underestimate the importance of room acoustics. Many may spend thousands for some bizarre reason on expensive cables, or thinking changing their DAC is going to make a huge difference, where to me I've always learned and prioritised making the room acoustics the most important thing when it comes to having a good sound from your HiFi system. So when I did this room, converted this garage, it was vital that it sounded good. So the first step I took to make the sound as dead as I possibly could, no echoes, was to install these rather nice, I would say, acoustic slat wall panels. Also, a good thing about them is they've come down massively in price to what they were, say, just a couple of years ago. We've also done some work on this rather pain in the backside of a washing machine. Now, this washing machine was installed, not this particular washing machine, but a washing machine was installed by the previous owner. And they installed it there in that corner, so all the plumbing there is in that corner. So unfortunately, as I mentioned in the previous upload that I made, we've got a washing machine stuck dead, well, not dead bang in the middle, but to the left hand side of the room, which is really rather annoying. So what the carpenter did is he built this little unit. He hasn't finished, he's just got to put the door on the front of it so it covers it up, so at least when you're sitting there listening to music, you're not actually looking at a washing machine. Also this year we had some, let me just change that a little bit. We had some new French windows installed. I think these have made a huge improvement, to be honest with you. I'm debating whether or not to put some thermal curtains on there. What do you think? Does it look better without curtains, or would it look better with curtains? I'm not sure. I love the amount of light it's lending to the room, and we're really lucky where we are because we've got absolutely outstanding views of the countryside. And I think by putting curtains there, you'll sort of block out some of those gorgeous views that surround this property. You'll also notice outside I've got some speakers because I didn't really want them to get too dusty while we're currently doing work in here. So that's how the room is coming along currently. As I say, the carpenter's more or less finished. As you can see on the plasterboard there, that it needs rubbing down a little bit. As I say, it needs some acoustic sealant just to go all the way around the edges there to make sure it's a nice tight fit on everything. And then once all that's done, we're going to go and move on to not the carpet. It's going to be the decorating. So the decorator's going to come in. He's given me a quote to paint all of this. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is we did get the new door. Let me get in focus as I'm a little bit too close. There we are. We did get a new door. It wasn't a Howden's in the end. I think the carpenter went for a Wicks one. That's pre-primed. It's got a new door handle on it. Can't remember who I bought that from. But a nice chrome door handle on it. That's pre-primed. So the decorator's got to come in and paint that. And the decorator is going to paint the whole room. And I think I just can't make my mind up, you know, what colour to go for. There's so many gorgeous colour palettes, and I just didn't know what one to go for. I just couldn't make my mind up. But I do like, we are rather conservative here in our colours. We don't sort of go for loud, bright colours that grab your attention. We do like sort of subtle colouring, natural tones, earthy tones, relaxed, warm tones. So it'd probably be sort of a creamy sort of colour, I would imagine. I'm not 100% sure. I was thinking of gardenia from the Deluxe Heritage Diamond Trade range. But as I say, I'm still not 100% on it because there are some absolutely gorgeous Benjamin Moore colours, but Benjamin Moore is quite pricey. It's almost sort of double the price of everybody else. And in a room like this, I just can't decide whether or not it's worth spending the double amount of money, because the walls in here, to be honest with you, aren't fantastic. So is it worth spending extra on top quality paint, or go for Deluxe, I always get that word wrong, Deluxe Trade Diamond range? As I say, I'm not 100% sure what to go for yet. And then to finish it off, for the time being anyway, is to put a carpet in. As I say, nothing in here will be silver or grey. Everybody seems to go for silver and grey for some bizarre reason, but to me, I think it's a little bit tiring and cold having grey. It does look nice, but as I say, I do find it a little bit cold and a little bit tiring looking at grey. So it won't be a grey carpet. Again, I'm not sure what colour it was we're going to go for. It might be a sort of sandy colour, stony type of colour. As I say, we do like sort of conservative sort of colours here, as I think it looks really nice when it's all done and finished. Anyway, there we are. That's the latest work. It's all very slow progress here in the UK. Nothing happens at great speed when it comes to building and construction work and that type of thing. Everything's sort of, oh, you have to wait 2 months for this fella, you have to wait 2 months for that fella, and you have to wait 5 months for this fella to come. Then they don't come, then they don't turn up. So yeah, it's one thing after another. But the good thing is, at the end of it all, I think it's going to end up looking really rather nice. What do you think? How's it coming along? Is it looking good? Any suggestions? As I say, what would you do? Say there's some stuff, some boxes I've got at the back, or as I say, all that wall there has got to be painted. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention while I'm here waffling on. The electrician came, put in a point there behind there. So I've got 2 points there, and I've got another 2 there. And not only that, look. Can you see them? He installed some ceiling lights. There's a bit of patchy, dodgy work there that needs kind of repairing. Never going to get that flat unless the whole room's replastered. But there we've got some nice spotlights. Don't need to think that's going out of focus now. Some nice spotlights to finish the room off. Well, there we are. That's what we're up to. Check back to see what comes next in our garage renovation. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, have a fantastic day, and keep listening to that music.